Good everybody, Dragon Scales VR here, doing a quick overview of Swain into a Smurf Yone. 60% win rate. They got a plat account. There was a duo we went against, and I called it out early. Told everybody we got to be careful of these guys. Then I went into the Yone, and I said, well, let's do what we can here. I just wanted to show some of the early laning and how we pick the team fights and stuff like that. Very standard start of game. There was nothing crazy, no invades. Had stuff warded up nicely. Always important. Better to be safer. Walk up with the wave. First thing, I always throw a test. I always throw a test E a little bit to the side, and I see if they're going to walk into it. I kind of get a read on whether or not they're going to dodge in certain ways. When I play against lower elo players, I typically miss my E-grab because they're so confused about how to walk, and then I end up throwing it badly because I'm confused about them. First wave, I let the turret take a bunch of it, just to help me with farming it, because I have no damage. Couple of grabs. I'm gonna slow this down when we get into the next grab here. Timer's on 4 seconds, 3, 2, and I use a lot of mana in lane. But right here, I see him walking up, and I think if he walks up, I'm going to throw a grab to the other side of him. Had he walked forward, would have been a decent placement, but that one did not go. Did not go. He had no reason to need to walk up there. So in hindsight, like, kind of a wasteful grab. Got another one right here. And I'm waiting for placement to see how he's going to move. Again, we're throwing down, and he's walking up. So we got to start to tune that and say, okay, he's going to dodge upward toward the wave. He's going to try to be safer and be by the minions, which actually gives you a little bit of a AoE. If you hit the grab on minions next to him, that'll also count it as a pull. Have to respect when he can jump forward like that. Give him as much space as he needs. Even when I'm fed and he's way under leveled, I give him respect on that because he can gap close. And there's no need to give him a bunch of free poke. Very important here. The exchange, I know he has to stand there, so I throw a W to mitigate some of the damage he's dealing. I get a little bit of heal, a little bit of max health. And then I place another grab. And that one he actually walked into. Generally he had been dodging upward. That time he walked downward and actually walked into it. That's typically what I see, is a lot of people will try to walk down to the right when I throw that. And a lot of times I move on the left side. I think I do that because my monitor is pretty wide, so it's just natural for me to want to see the whole area. I play screen lock most of the time, except for when I'm throwing W's. Another grab, that was a little bit low, but we still got it. We get the pull, we watch for his wind walking here. And he's ready to jump, so I just walk away. I'm like, it's your lane. Your lane until that's gone, and now it's like, okay, no problem. All in, ready. But you always have to respect what they're capable of. I try to give 100% respect, and that ends up being one of the best tools in the game. Like now, as soon as he gets that, I walk away. I'm like, oh, stay distanced. Make sure you don't get knocked up, you don't get hit by his shield. When he does that shield swipe, that's pretty big. Because not only does he get a shield that'll mitigate your damage, but then he hits you, so a pretty good trade for him if he hits that. I grab him there. I kind of got lucky on this, pulling him into turret. Hit him with a basic attack, another basic attack. My jungler's coming around on the top here. Dumpy Pup, welcome in. We're recording a YouTube video right now. Going over some of the early laning. It's good timing. Good timing here, because we got it back anyways. Nothing too wild. So here we're looking for the cannon. A little bit of poke damage, trying to get these low without getting them into the turret. A good point, Steppy Pup, yeah. I could always re-record it too. I could always do it when I'm not streaming, but I was thinking I will do a little video looking into this. I like people knowing it's live. Like everything's going on. But yeah, this laning, I was like really worried. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get ganked 100 times. I'm gonna be playing into 2 Smurfs. They're gonna be just dominating everything. As soon as he engaged on this one, I was like, I'm 6, you're 5. There's nothing he can do till he gets that 6. And even then, I might have been able to take him. Gets that dash there. He's not hitting minions for some reason. And then we procced Conqueror. At this point, I just walk off. He misses his ability. Keep him right at the edge of the ring. And bam. And that was Warfare. I saw something on Reddit the other day that was talking about how you can trigger that double burst from the Demon Flare. Apparently, if it bursts on its own and you hit burst at the same time, you can get it to drop twice and it does 2 Demon Flares. I don't know if it does the damage for both Demon Flares. I haven't checked it ever. But apparently that's a thing you can do. You'd have to keep somebody right on the edge of it. Or you'd have to like flash into them as it's dropping and then have it pop twice. Really unlikely to be able to time that out in a team fight. And again, he all-ins me. We give him space. We respect it. As soon as he's got that little dash knock-up ability, we give him the whole lane. As soon as it's down, I'm like, you got nothing. I walk up, I start farming. I'm like, yep, he can't do nothing. A little bit lucky on that one. I see him go all in. Immediately, I ult and get ready to walk toward where he started. Now his whole kit is just empty. Don't gotta worry about it. I farm my wave. We back and buy, I think. Oh no, I push another wave because he backs. And he should have stopped and he should have stayed for that wave once I stayed, but he backed. So now they're trying to rotate to objective. Get a little bit of lane harass. That's what the red wards are for. You really don't get a lot of value out of the red wards if you don't use them. If you just use them for vision, it's like not really worth it. I ping for him to come over here and I'm like, let's try to make a play out of this. Guy kind of walks off. This was pretty wild. So I hit him and I kind of angle him so he has to run toward the jungler. He ults over the wall and he just leaves Warwick there, completely stuck. So we go after Warwick. And he has to proc his abilities, so he's trying to hit him. He gives up at this point. And he just leaves Warwick to get 1v2'd. Take a plate, back off. At this point, item-wise, we're looking at plated steel caps and lost chapter, and then I pick up the other side of Blackfire Torch. I've seen a couple different builds, and I really like Blackfire Torch early because you get the mana sustain in lane, and then late game you have a decent sized mana pool, so you're usually on top of stuff. I've tried other builds like Leandry's, I've tried Crystal Scepter first, but you always run out of mana. And especially for me in laning, like, I need mana all the time. So we ward everything up and make sure that we're zoning. MF comes in late, doesn't mean anything. I think they get into a fight here. Yeah, they do start a fight in that tri-bush bot side. But I just continue back to laning. I see that Yone's cutting into the middle here, so I try to zone him a little bit. If I would have hit that, would have been different, but then once he jumped in, I said, okay, we can ult, because he has no way to get out unless he ults. Had he kept walking, he might have got out. But he went for a shield swipe and killed him. That's all you need sometime. So at this point, the enemy Warwick is raging at the Yone. The Warwick is pinging me 1,000 times. I think bot lane pushes in. They lose turret. Enemy bot team pushes in. We take another plate. Warwick starts to all in me, and I'm ready for it. Jungler comes running in. Perfect timing. I miss most of my abilities there, but he honestly gets wrecked in that exchange. So now the jungler and him are super weak. And the jungler's like super angry at this guy, so he's actually not even wanting to come help him anymore. And that's a good spot to be. So we push the wave again. Yone sits under turret, pouting. But again, you can't let down that guard. You have to respect the fact that he can still gap close, he can still knock me up, he can still shield against me. All that stuff can be devastating in the right combination with the enemy team. Here we see an opportunity. They're pushing into bot turret. There's 3 of them under turret with no minions. I'm like, wow, that's perfect. That's like the best thing to see. So I make sure to jump back to burst to get the R kill. I zone everybody else towards the ADC who needs free kills. And when there's no opportunity to save it for him, just spike Melio with the Q. Warwick is now pinging me 1,000 times in chat. He's like, you guys are not paying attention to Swain. And here we went for a extremely greedy play and we get punished. This one we got, that was no problem. Shortly after, this is a really important one too. So here we're just running away. I know that they have no vision of this. I just go for a cheese grab. I happen to get her. I say, oh, let's hit her a couple times. And I think she flashes out. Yeah. So she basically answered the ult with a flash. I say, okay, no worries. I'll have my ult up before your flash is up again. And we pushed them off. They didn't get anything out of it. Now her flash is down for the next team play. So Teemo wants to go topside, but there's nobody there but Teemo. He has great ward coverage. He's got his little shrooms everywhere. The jungler wants to go bot side, so we try to make him move bot side. You see a group up here. I throw a grab. I hit 2 of them. I pull them in, and nobody engages. So we just say F it. We just say, okay, we'll walk. I stand there for a bit, and I'm like, all right, you guys aren't fighting, no worries. Now at this point, my team actually goes back in. They go for a huge all-in play, and they get wrecked completely. A little bit of a poke. Draven's hiding. Pyke is sort of here. Pyke tries to engage. Draven says, the heck with it, I'm going back to farming. And that's what I do too. I'm like, well now, there's no way for me to fight this. I don't have ult, and nobody's nearby. And I missed my grab too, so that helped. So once he was gone, I was like, I'm not walking into this 1v4. There's nothing for me to get there. Nothing of value. Because I would have to trade my life for whatever I get. And Draven's just bot side, not farming Krugs. We'll fast forward a little bit to this greedy play that's coming up. Take some minions, we back. We take some more minions. and we actually back. So now I believe we have Blackfire Torch and Leandry's, 5 stacks on a ring. We still have Doran's ring, and we got plated steel caps. So we can really destroy most of their team in a team fight. And they have very little AP, so... I see him coming, and I assume he doesn't have vision. Throw a grab and then ult immediately after, knowing that it's coming back. Give him a pull. Throw down the W, assuming he's going to engage or be locked. He starts attacking. Hit him with the R burst. Try to dodge the ult. Successful on that one. Now I corner him back toward the friendly turret side. As soon as he does this ability, I know he has to come back to there, so I just walk away. I get the kill with the E. I believe this is the greedy play that I was talking about earlier that I was waiting for. So my team is trying to make a play bot side. And they keep trying to make this play bot side for like the next 5 minutes. They get a grab, he ults, it saves her. I think they just go back and forth on this over and over. Pyke just took blue. Or not Pyke, Kane. Pyke's waiting to possibly land a hook. Not a whole lot going on there. But they're still trying to get to that objective. We push a little bit respectively. Again, you never let the guard down, because he still has a lot in his kit. So when I get some pokes, I get what I get. I don't force any more plays, I just play safe. I don't know who's bot, I don't know what's going on. They're pushing mid. We have nobody mid for some reason. A lot of like really sloppy macro. But you kind of just ignore most of it. Do what you can. Here's a team fight that breaks out topside. All 4 of them kill Teemo. Pyke lands a grab. And this is where it gets really messy. I teleport in. They're going for objective. And I'm like, let's do it. Warwick says I don't have smite. He's pinging in chat, no smite. We had no idea. I ult in, and the Pyke takes Gromp and goes for a kill on Flowey. I get double ulted, sidestep a little bit of the MF damage. Pyke gets a pull, and then I get ulted by the 3rd person. And Kane's over here finishing his kill on Alawi. Which was kind of unnecessary in my mind. I thought that was a little weird, because I was like, we could have got 3 kills and the objective. But instead he was like, I'm going to fight Alawi, who heals a bunch. And now he's not able to do much else. So in my mind, that was wasteful. Pyke is still going for kills. He backed safely. So he misses out on that, and now the enemy jungler is full health. Not much they can do. So to me, that was kind of a wasteful play. I wish the jungler would have been there with me. I could have backed off once I saw the jungler wasn't rotating. I think more than anything, it's just upsetting when the jungler doesn't rotate, but then a lot of times you all in to try to prove them wrong. Going here to the objective, we don't have good vision, we don't have anything else set up, so we just leave. Once there's nothing else to get, like, why stay there? Teemo's creeping in the bush. Nice. Throws a shroom there. I saw this unfold too, but I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Because I can't tell when Teemo's invisible on the minimap, so I didn't know that he was hiding that whole time. We get a decent kill here, and then we come back. Follow up on that team fight. And then we hourglass to mitigate any other healing that's coming in. He flashes out. And this was really important too. I watched this a couple of times and I wanted to angle this a little bit sharper. I should have thrown it earlier. I should have walked straight to the right. By the time I throw the grab, he's out of range. I wanted to walk right to the wall. I should have went there first. He just outwalks the grab. So I missed the kill there. And I had no idea where he went. It went out of vision and I was like, dang, I know he's over there somewhere, but he might have sidestepped it. That's why I threw the Q to follow up. But we didn't know. Had we walked to the bush a little bit cleaner, would have been an easy kill. Had we angled in a little bit more, would have been an easy kill. One of those live and learn moments. Anyways, at this point, we go on to carry the game. Because it's all AD, we buy Frozen Heart. Don't want to go past that. So, Dark Seal, Plated Steel Caps, Black Fire Torch, which is our starting item, Leandri's Torment, which is our second item, Zanya's Hourglass, third item, and I think we end up selling Ring for Frozen Heart. But at some point, there's a transition that takes place. Right now, we're 9-1, and our team isn't doing that great. They're doing okay, but what ends up happening is I realize that the enemy team is trying to target me as much as possible, and my team doesn't have a whole lot of damage. So I end up building a little tankier and self-sacrificing most of the plays to do a ton of damage and end up dying, and then my team picks up all the kills. And I think it's super important to be able to transition like that. Like, you can't just go into a team fight and say, I want to get all the kills and do none of the work. Because my team couldn't follow up, and if I don't do all the damage, my team isn't going to do any damage. So the only way to take the lead in the team fights is to say, I'm going to be the one that goes all in, massive plays, burn everybody for most of their health, and then we get the kills on it. Versus the KDA player, which would be, I don't want to go in unless I get a kill, and then you never go in. So we fight her for quite a bit, and then I end up getting poked down, and these keep reprocking, so that wasn't good. Kind of a sloppy play, but at this point I was like, yeah, we need Frozen Heart. I believe I pick up anti-heal too. Yeah, because I just had Soul Stealers. At some point I'm like, yep, let's trade that Soul Stealers and the ring, get Oblivion Orb, and then start Glacial Buckler. And the next team fight, it starts to shine. We go for a grab here. Pike pulls her over the wall right into my grab, which is beautiful. Gives me a perfect time to start with ult. I see Warwick coming in, I see Yone coming in. I try to center myself near the ADC, and then I hourglass, so they have to walk into my ult to be near the ADC, which is what they want. They pretty much have nowhere to go at this point because everybody's shredded. I should have went to the right side, but I ended up going left instead, playing with the Pike. Pike's got a really good execute, and I wasn't sure how Draven would do in combat. So we're fighting Alawi here. We try to walk her into as much damage as possible and sustain as long as possible, but she is like whooping on me. I'm just barely sustaining. Luckily, Teemo's there to finish up the kill. She has a sloppy flash. She doesn't get out of range. It's what it is. Then we go on to take Baron. I respawn. A couple other team fights. We're positioning. We're taking out vision. We're making sure that we're being smart about this. Here's where I start making these all-in plays to focus on just sustaining my team here. Missed that grab on Alawi, but it's pretty big pretty big here. I corner into the bush to just get as much damage over time. Pike lands a grab, and we see the Raven and the Cane making their way over. And I just dump out as much damage as possible before dying. And they come and get an easy cleanup because everyone's kit is on cooldown. I was worried about Alawi here, but she gets CC'd out. There's nothing she can do. Yone's pushing in. We go for objective. At this point, they have 3 dragons, and we get our second. Which is nice because it's free. We didn't have to fight for it because we already fought. So that was pretty clean. We respawn. Quick item check. We're at 33 minutes. We now have Frozen Heart. We got Plated Steel Caps. We have Anti-Heal for Alawi. We got double burn damage, so Blackfire with the AP. Leandries with the percent health. That's going to help shred anybody who's got a little bit too much health. Great for like a Mundo game or anybody where you're going to be sustained fighting. And then we got Hourglass up in a little bit here. So we're kind of timing things out. I do have my ults. I could jump into a team fight right now, knowing that Hourglass will be up in a little bit. We got about 3 seconds. A lot of pings from Warwick just saying back off, don't be in that area. I don't think they listen. I think Alawi gets caught here. Yep. We end up pulling her over the wall, and that was just like, okay, we got this. Chemo Shroom blocking her exit. She doesn't know that. Anti-heal really helps to shred her there. Get a double grab on the back line, and we just hang out. Hourglass, and my team's going to be able to clean it up if they were to follow through. We end up backing off, which is fine too. Sometimes that's just as good. If you damage them a lot, you get a couple kills, and then you back off. That's fine. It's better than going in for a play that you're uncertain about and making mistakes and saying, oh man, I shouldn't have went in. Instead of just trading. So again, enemy team all-ins me. I take 1R. I think he tried to ult me there, but I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he like missed or did like an ult cancel or something. Anyways, we grab Milio. We end up losing our ult here. We smack Alawi around for a bit. Make sure to keep that anti-heal on her. And as long as she's burning, she's got the anti-heal taking place. So now we're posturing up in a spot. Really important. I'm actually going to go back to this. We know that they're coming through here. We know that they're trying to de-ward. First sweeper drops and I see the Teemo Shroom. And I know that's a really good spot to engage. My team is nowhere around, which is probably not the best, but I'm pretty fed. So I get the ult off before Warwick ults. Hourglass most of MF's ult, and now they have nothing to fight with. So I burst, I fight a little bit, we see Draven here, I'm like, oh, we got this. Throw a grab, pull her in. W's down. I think I get the R burst here. Land a grab on the back line, pull her in. R burst. Now these two are slowed, anti-heal, beautiful against Warwick. And like I was saying before, we end up sacrificing ourselves knowing that everybody is so low at this point that we have a better opportunity of winning the team fight. We get the double, a little sloppy. I believe that's the end of it. And Cane walks. Yeah, they just give it up at that point. And it was probably a sloppy all-in for me. We got dragon spawning. Alawi's down. They're in base defending. Pretty much another free dragon. So they don't contest it. We're now matched on dragons. We're up 13 kills. We have a decent gold lead. 8,000 gold lead. We take Baron. On taking Baron, everybody's kind of backing and taking Scuttle and doing all kinds of stuff. And then finally we come mid. We're all together for the most part. Our siege is pretty empty from what I remember. Takes a little bit of I don't know. It takes a little bit of engage, really. We're waiting on someone to set something up. Emo shroom or something to happen. What happens is that I finally land a grab and everybody's like, yeah, let's go. Pull a Lowy in, and I know that I'm going to shred that whole back line, so I position myself up further, get the R burst on everybody, and then I just spam Hourglass for the next rest of my life. Finally we get Hourglass right when the ult comes in. We're going to die here regardless, but we're hitting so much damage. With this Draven in the bottom left here, he's going to be able to clean up easy. Warwick misses his ult because I'm already dead. But their whole team was more preoccupied with ulting me than anything else, so they just get punished for it. And that's kind of what you want. So I'm the only one who dies in that team fight. Massive team fight. My team cleans up the entire thing and then pushes to win the game. 40 seconds till the next person spawns. And we get the W. And we end the game 12, 6, 18, helping the team carry.